Gonzaga Nation SI again, Adam Morrison and myself. Mo, crazy times. COVID is postponing, popping games left and right.
Yeah.
We just heard this week's games. San Francisco, which I was looking forward to. They've only got one loss.
Yeah, 12-1.
And Pepperdine is still questionable, but the USF game's off.
Yeah.
What was your first thoughts when you heard that one?
Well, it's not surprising considering the first weekend of the league basically got canceled, but echo your thoughts as I was upset because they were having a fantastic season, and for their standards, 12-1 is good for anybody, but you know what I'm saying? Like, really got off to a good start. I think their style of play is fun to watch. They've given us trouble the last 3-4 years, really. I mean, there's been a game every season that they've could have won in the last 3-4 years, aside from last year's team. So I'm always curious to see, because they actually switch ball screens. They run pro style. You know what I mean? They run kind of actions and they just play. So I like watching them play and calling the games. So I was a little upset, but hopefully, knock on wood, that this stuff is just postponed and not canceled.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's just going to be this next 2-3 weeks. This is my opinion. I'd love to hear your take. I think this next 2 to 3 weeks is going to be crazy. There's going to be cancellations everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you're going to see is like games just loaded up. You're going to see like an NBA schedule. You're going to play a Monday or Tuesday, and then you're going to keep your Thursday and Friday, barring any new complications or issues. When you look at San Francisco, though, you had some good games down there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we played. My freshman year, I played all right there. My sophomore year, actually, we lost down there. That was only my 1 or 2 losses in conference for me. And I got my ass busted pretty good by Jerome Gums. And
really? Don't remember that name.
He was just like a do-everything wing, and we were playing in zone because we couldn't guard anybody, and I didn't box out on the weak side, and he just would pound and get weak side rebounds. So that next game, I didn't start my sophomore.
Really?
Yeah, and that's how bad it was, and that was a tough pill to swallow. So, and then the next year I had I think 41 or something like that. But it was I've had some mixed emotions in that gym. It was funny actually. Brian Michelson, second assistant now, obviously, and he goes. It was like 3 years ago we were talking about the game. He goes, remember Jerome Gums? We're at a bar. He's busted your ass. And he was giving me crap. I was like, yeah, dude, because Brian was on that team. And then we go to shoot around the next day, and Jerome Gums was playing pickup in the gym. And he goes, Mo! He goes, he probably got a deal in Europe because of you. He just shows him that tape. So it was funny. That San Francisco group is just always fun to watch. I love that gym too.
Yeah, that's a great gym. Just
to call a game, it's cool, and it's the atmosphere. You're just right in the middle of the city. It's just like in a neighborhood. It's weird, I'm up. Hopefully you're right. But if I'm Gloria Navarez, the WCC president or commissioner, like you have to. I'm not saying, but like after 2 weeks and after this pass through, you have to figure out to get games, because like we talked about in previous episodes, isn't it? 4 teams in the top 100. Or something like that. And
top 40.
Top 40.
Yeah, because they keep going. They keep winning.
Yeah.
And I read the stat the other day, like so the top 4 teams in the league are winning at like an 83% clip, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But then those 9 total losses, those opponents are at a 81% winning clip. So their losses are against good teams, which is helping their Ken Palm and their net ratings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you're her, and she obviously understands basketball's the main thing for the West Coast Conference, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that you have to get these games. And this is not a knock. It's just like she's got to be freaking out. It's like, how can I figure out? Because we could legitimately get 3 teams in to the tournament, maybe 4, obviously, but like 3 for sure. St. Mary's, BYU, and Gonzaga. Not for sure, but like St. Mary's, BYU, or Gonzaga, BYU usually have that, at-large type of deal. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's scary to think in that terms. Obviously, health and safety precludes everything. But it's like this conference has been really good this year, and it's been a long time since it's been...
Strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, and when it's been top-heavy, usually it's been Gonzaga and who's finishing second, and that second might not even get in. Now it's who's finishing second, and third is probably going to get in. Mm-hmm. Fourth, you probably might go to the NIT, which is great for a lot of programs to build on. So yeah, that part is a little disheartening, because of the momentum was so great. So hopefully they can figure out. And like you said, just do Monday, Thursday, Saturday. You guys all want to play in the league, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what you say to the guys, like, okay, here you go. Here's your chance to show like you play 3 and 4 or 3 and 5.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's that commentary about that I've read that and heard from fans like, that's too much. Are you kidding me?
That doesn't make any sense.
Like,
what are you talking
people have
about?
said 2 games a week. You're running these college kids into the ground.
Wild.
Come on now.
It's insane.
You know how it is as a pro.
Yeah.
Like, practice does get minimized throughout the course of the year, but if you're doing your work, you're getting an hour pregame workout in, then going to lift, unless you're playing 40 minutes a game, and then you play the game. And then if you don't play 15 minutes that night, you're on the treadmill or on the elliptical either right away or first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So I don't buy that it's too many games for kids.
No, I totally disagree as well. And when people say that, it's like, they're just high level athletes. And then it's also like, wouldn't you want to see, games stacked on top of each other? I 100%. Think as a fan, it's even better. It's like, well, I got 3 games to watch this week. So hopefully they figure it out. And again, like, this is not a play the games, damn it, because screw COVID. It's like, no, it's not that. But, if you be proactive like you were last year, that's all I'm saying.
100%.
Be proactive in how you can get these games on the schedule and played.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to try to do that, but hopefully it's like you said, like 2 weeks, everything kind of goes through and then we get back to playing.
Yeah. Well, stay on the topic of USF and that gym. I loved playing in that gym. I loved going on that road trip.
Yeah.
But the difference in the hotels in the college versus then the NBA is night and day, especially in a city as expensive as San Francisco. We stayed at a place in San Francisco. I don't even remember the name of it, but it was like right across the street or 2 blocks away from a restaurant called Tommy's Joint. Did you guys go to Tommy's Joint?
Yeah, we were at Tommy's Joint. My first 2 years, the place was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most random hole-in-the-wall restaurants. You could get almost anything.
It was buffet style.
Pretty much. You go down the line.
Give me
some of that. Give me some of that.
Macaroni cheese, pig's feet, like for real.
No, yeah.
Like pork ribs, and then it would be like salad, and it's like, where does this all come? But it was you're right, so good. And it was like, it was a restaurant, but it wasn't like a complete dump, but it wasn't like where you would like go to have a business meeting, but then like you'd see families there, but it looked like kind of misfit family. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So then you just kind of went in there and it was like going into a cafeteria.
Yeah.
A good, you know what I'm saying?
A good one.
A really good one, but it was weird. Like just, Tommy's Joint.
Have you been back since? Cause I've been.
No, we always stay in Fisherman's, but I want to go back. Cause it's, like Tommy Lloyd took me there. He's like, no, I got this restaurant, Tommy's Joint. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, just trust me. And sure enough, like, can I have seconds, please? Like, it's that good. It's awesome. Yeah.
We would stay in the crappy hotel around the corner. And then when you get to the NBA, we would stay, some teams would be at the Four Seasons on, Market Street? Yeah. And then other teams would stay at the Ritz-Carlton up on the hill above Chinatown. Mm-hmm. Where would you guys stay with the teams you were with?
That's a fog, to be honest with you. I have no idea. I only remember, I can't even remember. I think one year we might have stayed where the hotel we stayed at Gonzaga wasn't bad. What was comparative?
You must have helped increase the budget, because I remember ours was like, holy cow.
Oh, ours wasn't, but we were close to Tommy's Joint, but we were like in a Marriott or something like that. So it wasn't like.
Well, I remember I had you would know Corey Violette. Yeah. He was my roommate on the road. Uh-huh. He's from Boise. He wouldn't go out. He wouldn't walk around in San Francisco because he was scared. He's a big 6'8", 250-pound dude.
Chunk's
Chunk. I'm like, come on, dude, let's go for a walk. Like, I don't want to sit in the room all day. He's like, no, you're on your own.
I just remember they had Tommy's Joint, and then across the street they had like a Sam Goody, when it was like you go look at CDs. That's just sort of reference that some people might not understand, whoever's listening to this. But you could like touch music.
That brings a great Christmas story. I want to hear a Christmas story from you with your kids, since we just had one. So my son got a Walkman for Christmas.
Like a original tape deck?
Yeah, tape deck one. So Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
So in the box, he got the Walkman and like the 4 tapes from Guardians of the Galaxy. And my son puts it in, and he's 15, he's a smart kid.
Yeah.
He can't figure out how to work it.
You can put,
and he's like, Dad, what's going on? He can't figure out. This is like, dude, you're doing it wrong. Let me see it. Put it on the wrong side. And then, like, so kids these days don't realize, like, if you had a song you want, you had to listen to the 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
rewind
or fast forward and try to get lucky. He was blown away. He's like, that's hard.
Yeah. No, it's wild to think, just where the technology has gone to just music wise. You know what I mean? Like, I had to catalog, like, I'm obviously a little bit older than you. Like, I had to catalog by hand, all my music collection, into the computer, like type in the name and the album and stuff. Like, you don't even have to do that anymore. You know what I mean? But yeah, Christmas wise, like, how is it like in the Dickau household? You got 6 kids. Like,
we take breaks.
Do you have to take out another mortgage every year? Because
it seems that way. I mean, we have, so like, you kind of like, you don't want them to just open them all at once. So it's like one at a time.
Yeah. So that's how we do it. But then
it drags on.
That's a long shift.
Yeah. Like, okay, let's get some breakfast now.
Yeah.
All right. I need some champagne now.
Yeah.
What about teammate wise? Cause we touched on like the Walkman. Zach Gord was a technology genius when we were teammates. And I remember like logging or coming up with songs I wanted. I would give him a list, and like he would download them on Napster that night and make a DVD. Who would have been the technology guy on your teams?
It's a good question. I think it was probably B-Mike or Steven Gentry Shaggy, because they were the smartest guys. You know what I mean? Like, and that was when we were Napster and Kazaa and all that stuff. So if guys could like burn CDs, it was amazing. Like just the thought process of that is mind blowing to me now. Like ripping off music was odd, but now it's basically free. Yeah. Not necessarily, kind of, you just pay a monthly subscription. But remember the war that went on, with Society and Napster and all that stuff with our musicians and Napster. But yeah, I think it was Shaggy and B-Mike were probably the most inclined to be good at technology. But we were kind of right in the era, beginning of social media and all that stuff. So it was a different time as far as technology, like the boom of it, I guess. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Those guys break down film left and right. Yeah. Synergy, all the different Hoop One media platforms to watch games. Yeah. Did you watch a lot of game film when you were in college and or the pros?
I didn't watch any game film when I was in college at all. Like, unless it was handed to me. I didn't watch it like on my own.
Yeah. It was harder too, because it still wasn't on like
it was on DivX and all that stuff. Yeah, so I just would watch it with the individual group, your individual coaches, but I didn't, like, hey, can you burn me the copy of the game? I don't know why, I just never did.
How about in the NBA? Because I remember that was still DVDs at that point.
Yeah, it's DVDs.
The video coordinator would give you a DVD after the game. You choose to watch it or you don't.
Yeah, no, I'd watch it after games. Yeah, because you kind of had to in the league to learn guys. Yeah, but like, I don't know, just Gonzaga just never did it. We get the film shoved in our face too for the scouts. Yeah, I think more in the pros, it's time, and then obviously like they're gonna find out who's paying attention and who's a pro, right? Yeah. So that's kind of what they do too. Like, hey, let's not come in for a 2-hour film session. Just take it at home, and if you don't watch it, we're gonna find out really quick.
Yeah, and then you go through shoot around super quick, and if you don't have the adjustments up here, you're done.
Yeah, well, and it's time. It's a time saver too.
I had a good one. Katino Mobley was a teammate of mine with the Clippers. Yeah. Cat, great score from the wing and the low block lefty. We used to sit next to each other on every flight, and after every flight, like I said, the video coordinator would hand us the DVDs. And some games I would watch them, some games I wouldn't. There was one game I probably played like 6 minutes, and I didn't take the DVD. And Cat looks at me, he goes, Watch the game. He's like, I look at Cat. I said, why? I already watched it. I sat there on the bench for 42 minutes.
That's true.
I've seen the whole damn game. Why do you want me to watch
it again?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can definitely relate to that aspect. But yeah, like I said, in college, they clip it and do such a good job of, preparing you guys, because there's longer prep times and stuff like that. But I honestly think of the league, it's time consuming. And then like, if they're building like a championship roster, they're going to find out who's pros and who isn't.
Yeah.
So like, hey, and if they get a group of guys like that, it makes it so much easier to coach. Like, hey, we trust our guys. Like, watch this. Obviously, we'll do our own film. But like during the course of the year, like, okay, watch it on the Thunder. Like, we're not going to spend a day on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a day on prepping for them. Let's see if you guys can do it yourself. You know what I mean? Like as a group and as a unit, and trust each other to kind of go over it. So that's interesting to break down, you know, because breaking down film, I can't stand it. I mean, you tried to coach more than I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it can be.
It's different and interesting and unique because you start, if you watch it in the way that a coach does.
Yeah.
Like you're watching actions, you're looking at the bench for calls, hand signals, and you're literally stopping each possession if you scout
numerous times.
Numerous times.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the joy and the fun out of just watching a free flowing game like basketball.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I've seen, you know, guys obviously do it, but I remember seeing, I think it was Tommy Lloyd like 3 years ago. We were somewhere on the road and, you know, they were doing breakdown of scout, and he's like, Mo, come up. We're, you know, and they get the coaches in their conference room that they rent out. And so we're just having a few beers, and like the way how quick he got in clipping, you know what I mean? It was like, he's like, oh, I can do this in like 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, I was like, how was that start? He's like, oh, it'd take me 2.5 hours. Yeah. But now he's just like, oh, I see that. Boom, 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 just clip. And, you know, that's the beauty of like, obviously he got better at it, but, if you're like green and new at it and
it's a grind,
man. Like it's mind-numbingly boring.
Well, I remember the 1 year I was in the NBA as a player development coach, and then that summer league, when I really thought I was going to go down to the coaching path, I was putting scouting reports together in summer league, and I would go back and watch the film,
college film.
I would watch the previous two summer league games.
Okay,
clip them for meeting the next day and have to know the call to be able to tell the head coach in summer league. Like, and you're exactly right. If you don't know all the buttons to press or notes to take and how to quickly, it take a 1 hour job into 6 hours.
Yeah.
And that was interesting. But that on that point in that summer league, you were with the Clippers.
Yeah.
You were the best wing. And I don't want to bring up maybe a frustrating point, but you were the best wing in summer league that year.
Yeah,
and you didn't get back into the league. How difficult was that?
I think part of that was just how old I was, I guess. And then I think maybe it was part of, you know, things in LA, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, I averaged 20, I guess, and played well. But, you know, summer league is kind of a weird basketball too.
Yeah.
It's selfish, and it's made for the younger,
first round picks.
Yeah, for the younger guys. I played in summer league in LA going into my second year there and played really good. I think I averaged like 24 to 26, and I got to play in the triangle and just do like kind of what like Kobe did in a sense. They're like, okay, you got to like run center opposite and all that stuff is awesome, you know. So like it's always with a grain of salt. Like you play well, but I knew after that one, I was like, maybe I'll get like a camp invite. That's kind of what I was playing for. I was like, just give me a good camp invite. So not getting it, was like, oh, I kind of expected this because I've played well in summer league before and things didn't change. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean it just based on where our conversation with coaching went, that quickly came to mind because I remember watching it.
Yeah,
and the average fan wouldn't realize like the little details that you were doing in that game that allowed you to score 20 points seemingly effortlessly.
Yeah.
It's like the setups and the coming off of screens, and it's like, okay, checking your shoulder at the point of the screen. So you're open, it's a shot. If not, it's a catch on a skip and go.
Yep.
It's those little things that you did so well.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Hey, with going back to WCC now, we don't know if the Pepperdine game is going to go on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
With that, they're a little bit of an interesting dichotomy, 6-9. Yeah. Lorenzo Romar has a unique tie to the state of Washington because he was at University of Washington for so long. You played UW when he was the head coach, if I'm not mistaken, and had a couple good games, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any Lorenzo Romar connection stories that touch on?
Every time I see him, and like last year, the year, pre-COVID or whatever, I saw him at Pepperdine, and we were walking down the hallway, and he's like, man, we used to have some good fucking games together. It's just that type of dude. And yeah, he was cool. I always thought Coach Romar's cool. I always say what up to him, like, and talk to him for a quick second. Like, he's just,
yeah.
What's up, man? Like, how you doing? Because he had him rolling there too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they had talent. They had was it the Heck Ed or whatever they call it over there, was filled, and, and it was excitement. And so, like, I always, it's like, why can't they get that going again at UW? And I could give I don't really care about UW in that regards. I care about it for the program, like for Gonzaga to have that game, and then for the state of Washington. I know that sounds funny, but like, Seattle deserves a basketball product. Mm-hmm. So I'm always like, man, just got to get another Lorenzo in there. But yeah, like, he was always cool, man. Like, every time I see him, it's like, hey, what's up? Because we beat him twice, and then we lost my junior year. But I played good 2 of the games. My freshman year, we were playing at UW, and I held somebody on a screen like this for like a second. And Dave Libby, remember Dave Libby, the ref?
Yeah.
Gave me a tee, and Coach Few sat me the whole rest of the game. And it was like, I was in for like 4 minutes. Like, I've never been so hot in my entire life, like, after a game. So you can't get a technical, it's just all this dumbass.
Did he make you run the next day in practice?
No, but he knew, like, sitting was enough.
Yeah.
I was hot.
Yeah.
Because I was a freshman. I was playing good that year, and I was like looking forward to this game. I knew a lot of people up from Seattle, blah, blah, blah. And he took me out for one stupid, And I remember seeing Dave Libby years later on a plane, and I asked him why he called, and he goes, oh, it was a shitty call. I'm sorry. It's funny. He was cool about it. Yeah. I'm like, why did I get a like, that's a foul? He's like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, it's boom.
I haven't heard that name, Dave Libby, in years.
He was awesome. He was actually, I sat next to him on a plane, and it was a great conversation. He was head of the WCC reffing commissioner or whatever. So he did he assigned guys, and he was always kind of viewed as like a good ref, but he was short fused. So like, they told you, like, don't talk to this guy. And you sat next to him and was like, dude, I want to go have a beer with him. He's cool.
Yeah.
It's weird how guys, they change a little bit on and off.
So I've told my son's teams that I coach during practices, don't ever look at me as an official when I'm reffing practice, because I'm the worst official in the world.
And you let stuff go too in practice.
Yeah, but like, I could never be an official because I look at it from the wrong lens, I'm sure. Yeah. Have you ever like looked at it like, I could be a better official than that guy?
Oh, definitely. We coach in the Spokane AAU, like, I mean, there's nice guys, and God bless them, but there's some reffing that's just bad. I mean, at the youth levels, you're going to get that. They're not going to be perfect. And there's good reffing too. And that's not me trying to like butter up to them, but there's guys that know what they're doing. But there's some guys that you're like, you just don't do this. Like, I'll give you $20 to go home.
Do you remember any officials in college that you enjoyed when they had your game? Because I know Dick Cartmel. He's a Tri-Cities guy. Yep. He's as good as they get.
Yeah, Dick Cartmel was always good. Dave Libby wasn't a bad official. You just couldn't talk to him. So yeah, those two names come to mind. Dick Cartmel was great. I always played good in his games, and he always kind of understood that I was a scorer, and people were like face guarding me, and sometimes the thing was like, rough them up. So like, I got protected the way you're supposed to on like cutting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some refs don't have that feel. And it's like, some guys are getting targeted. You have to like let them play the game without getting physical, or you have to be able to let them retaliate that it's not in a way that's malicious. But if a guy's like kind of elbowing, like, you're allowed to do it a little bit back. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
To kind of and then it balances it out as players. Right.
That's
how I view it. It's feel.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The best officials have a feel. Just like the best players have a feel, and the best coaches have a feel. Yeah. I think that's where Coach Few has continued to be just off the charts good. It's his feel. I think he's gotten better X and O wise since I was a player till now.
Not even close, man.
Yeah, I mean the stuff that they run crazy. Now is like misdirection with a high-low and spacing on the weak side with a shooter.
Exactly, it's not even close.
But his feel is off the charts. What do you see
for what reffing?
No, just Coach Few's feel.
And like as a coach,
yes,
I think it's pretty good, Dan. Don't you think? I think, I mean his feel for. I really think that just to piggyback off the ref, I think he's really good at massaging refs. I know that sounds funny, but like he never gets teed, and he screams at those guys, but it always turns usually to our direction.
And you would have a better view than I would. Yeah, you're standing right there. You're sitting right there.
I'm right there, and he screams at guys, and I don't know if it's West Coast thing where like, hey, you're on our side of the deal. So this is how we get the calls. So he's really good at that. And then like his feel for, when guys are, making the right plays. I know we talked in a previous episode about some of his substitution patterns where I think are kind of off, but they make sense in the longer scheme. But sometimes I feel like he understands, okay, like we have to get Drew the basketball. Like that Texas game when they posted him up at the high post, like at the top of the key. That was one like I've never
like Dirk Nowitzki type stuff.
I know,
give it to him at the nail and just space.
And then space they couldn't double team. And like that kind of blew my mind because I'm like, man, I've never thought of like putting your best player who's a back to the basket guy right there because he's going to get to a spot. Especially in today's rules, you're allowed to take that one dribble before a guy can body bump it. And if he body bumps Drew, he can spin. So it's actually like the guy should retreat. So it was like, and then he can see double teams coming each way. So I think his feel is really good. Honestly, it's fantastic. But I think his feel for like, social situations is not the best. Like talking to players and stuff, like that's what I'm.
Is there a Coach Few story where maybe he was getting after you and you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he got after me a couple my freshman year. He almost maybe like when you get chewed out so good and your eyes well up and stuff. He did one of those to me my freshman year after we played Stanford, and it was bad.
Yeah,
it's really bad. Like I still give him shit about it. And people have listened to my deal and this, like, understand, like, I love Coach Few. Like, and I told him that at my jersey thing. Like, I'm glad our friendship is where it's at now. So me giving him crap is like, it's because I like you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's always, but like, when you ask me, like, what does he do well? And I'm like, I don't want to say anything. Like, I don't want to inflate his ego anymore. Yeah. Like, tell me what he does bad. I got a list.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What is that list?
We're not saying it on this show.
All right.
Maybe another one. We got to save content.
Year 2, maybe, right?
Yes,
Season
2. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Adam, appreciate it. Another great episode of Gonzaga Nation SI. Check out us on any of the major social media platforms.
Yeah, tell your friends about it. Obviously, even if you're not Gonzaga people, we're going to talk college basketball and sports in general. Maybe social situations.
We'll get there. I mean, we're two episodes, 2 shows a week with us.
Yeah.
Some Zoom, some will be in person.
Yep.
We got lots of other things going. WCC recaps. We got articles. We got, you name it, we're bringing the content.
Yep.
So,
check it out. Spread the word.
Yep. Awesome. Well, for Gonzaga Nation SI, he's the legend, Adam Morrison. I once made a couple 3-pointers as well.